From Ticker, you're watching She's the Boss. Here's Jules Brooke.
Welcome to She's the Boss, which is a show all about women in business and some of the amazing things that they're doing. My name is Jules Brooke. Today I'm very excited because I've got two fantastic women on the show. I'm very excited to have Debbie Small from Empowerment Point, and we'll be finding out what she does very soon, and Louise Larkin from Friend in Me, who's got a really beautiful initiative that I'm interested to know a lot more about. I also just want to let you know that we have a gorgeous sponsor, Havana Home, who make the most incredible candles and fragrances, and we wouldn't be able to have the show without us. So thank you very much to Havana Home. Go and have a look. So ladies, firstly, welcome to the show. It's fantastic to have you on
It's
here,
lovely
both
to be
of
here.
you.
Thank you.
Now what I thought I'd do is ask both of you a little bit about what it is that you do, because I've told people the name, but we don't actually know drilling down. So I'll start with you, Louise. Can you tell me about Friend in Me and what it actually does?
Yeah, amazing. So we basically promote social inclusion within children. So
Right.
we deliver events.
Yep.
So we have our major event every year that holds up to 2,000 people.
Wow,
Yeah.
really? 2,000? Can I just take a step back? I want to know what social inclusion for kids means.
Yeah, so, I've got two little girls, so
Yep.
we don't want any child to be left behind.
No.
So how do we teach our children to be able to walk up to the little girl or boy in the schoolyard, in a community program, wherever it might be, to make them feel like they are included and that they have that they have some self-worth. I couldn't imagine if it was my little girls that felt like they had been excluded from something as they're going through life. So we just want to be able to promote that inclusion and make sure that every child is not feeling left behind.
That is such a really gorgeous initiative. I've got 3 boys, and I've got a set of twins. And they're both very different. One of whom was super popular, probably to about grade 3, and then just lost his way for years. And trying to keep a child happy when they're really miserable and they are feeling like they're being socially excluded is so hard. So, teaching children to reach out, and I know both my boys do reach out, or all my boys do reach out to other people, but to see it happen to them when they're not like that, it's really hard to watch. So, I mean, any kind of initiative that gets them at that really early age and gives them that confidence, I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
So why did you come up with it though?
Well, funny enough, I was just driving to my corporate job one day and a mother on the radio was going through this exact problem with her little boy named Logan, who is now a beautiful ambassador for Friend in Me.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So she rang up the radio station and said how her little boy had never been invited to a party before.
Oh,
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, it
Heartbreaking. So 6 years old, had never had the invitation on the fridge, had never been able to go and give a gift to his little friend.
Oh, stop.
And it broke the mum's heart.
Yeah.
And I think there's so many parents, parents are our target market. They're the ones that are trying to find some answers.
Yeah.
So off I was to my corporate job and I thought to myself, this is heartbreaking. This can't be happening. What can I do to make a change?
Oh, I love that you think like that though, because there's a lot of people like me that go, wow, that's so heartbreaking, but I don't go, right, I'm going to go and set up a business around it.
Well, I didn't know it was going to be here 4 years later. But I just wanted to make a bit of a social impact. I thought, there must be so many little boys and girls out there that haven't been invited to a party. So what can I do to make that little change? So I gathered a few friends and I put on a little event. Now, that first event had 350 people.
Wow.
350
that's
for your first event.
First event.
So you know that you've actually tapped into something that is really important to mums.
That's what I thought.
And children.
Yeah, it makes a real difference for when they become teenagers as well and later in
That's
life.
right.
And I
And
think
adults.
That's exactly right. So I think it really makes a positive difference. So well done.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so now Deb, your turn. I want to know what Empowerment Point is. What is your business and what do you do?
Empowerment Point is the point of empowerment for business owners.
Right.
Over 70% of businesses fail in the first 5 years.
It's just such a huge stat. And in fact, I think we were talking earlier, I've been saying 97% fail in 3 years. It's just massive.
Overall, and I read too, overall, there are around 97% of businesses failing at the moment, which is just absolutely heartbreaking. So what I do is I help businesses get to the next level of their business by making sure that they see an expert in every single area of their business to ensure that they seal any of their holes. Everyone's filling
How
holes.
clever.
I like to seal the holes so
Yeah.
that way when they grow, there's
Get
no
a smooth
leaks.
journey.
Well, that's
Oh,
it.
there's no leaks. I love that
Yeah.
analogy. So what kind of experts do you have? Talk to me about the experts.
In every area. So it might be a commercial lawyer that they're making sure to see to
Right.
ensure that their contracts are fine and they're doing everything that they're meant to in regards to law. It could be an accountant they're seeing that's making sure that they're doing everything they need to in regards to their taxes and in regards to other parts of their accounting as well.
Yeah.
Social media experts. We go through every single part of their business to ensure that those holes are sealed.
And how do you identify where the holes are in the first place?
Yeah, well,
Does the owner tell you, or do you actually do some kind of analysis of their business?
Well, people don't know what they don't know.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, how can I go? I need an accountant.
So what I'm just
Until-
finishing building at the moment is a health check, health and growth package
Clever.
for businesses.
Yeah.
So they go through and they speak to each person and each expert in each part of their business to make sure of where they are and what they need to do to get to where they need to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So are you also prescribing, like, these are the sorts of things that you need to do, or it literally starts off with, okay, well, let's just see where your business is. You know, we'll talk about the things that you might be having difficulty with, or you know, you're not making any sales. Let's look at what it might be, and then you refer them to these experts.
It depends on where they are in their business.
Right.
If they are a new business, then I'll sit there and do a whole strategy session with them and go through every single part of the business that
Alright.
they need. If they've been in business for a while, then we'll actually put them through a health check where they actually speak to experts in different areas and make sure that they're doing what's right for their business. And even as a startup business, if there are parts of that business that I can see that they do need more help with,
Yeah.
I will bring in experts for that as well. I had a client who was building a new business,
Yeah.
an amazing business, and so she spoke to an IP expert that I put her in touch with, and she had a partner. And the partner decided that she didn't want to be partnership with her anymore, but she wanted to actually take all the IP.
Oh,
But
well, I
my-
hear these kind of horror stories all the time, and I don't like it that the thing is a she that's doing it. But
Well,
they do, yeah.
My client told me this story, so cool, calm, and collected, like she was
Not in
saying,
floods of tears.
No, like she was saying, I'm going to go get the loaf of bread today. And I said to her, I love how you're telling me
Yeah.
this with no stress. And she said, well, no, because after our conversation, all the IP's under my name.
Ah,
She had no stress. So she could do, so
Right.
then I put her in touch with a commercial lawyer as well, so she knew exactly what to do and how to do it for her business. And just to see her go from step to step with no stress at all was one of the most beautiful things.
and obviously you've saved her something that not only could
Time
be
and
stressful but
money.
incredibly traumatic. I mean, I had an issue with a partner that still isn't resolved, that is, you know, where they think that they had part ownership, and I thought, you know, that it is an incredibly stressful thing for everyone involved. So for
Yeah.
you to have told her to tick those boxes early on, great. Now, which then leads me to, because I know with my own business, I didn't necessarily do those health checks
None
and
of
come
us
up with a
did.
strategy.
None of us
I was going to
did.
say, have you done it for yourself? Is it the classic case of the doctor who doesn't ever go to the doctor? And I'm interested to hear from you as well, Louise, but let's start with you. Did you do that yourself?
Well, that was the whole reason I built the business, is
Yeah,
because
great.
of the fact that I didn't know what I didn't know, and I made a whole lot of mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want other business owners to make those same mistakes, and I didn't want them to spend the same amount of money and time making those mistakes as I did.
Yeah.
So if I can help other businesses get to where they need to go without going through all that heartache, that's why I
Yeah,
built
that's a win
Empowerment
for
Point.
everyone. That's
Yeah.
really clever. That's really clever. And so, Louise, tell me about the beginning of your business. Did you do a strategy? Did you do a health check? How did you actually
Did you
kickstart
want
it?
the simple answer?
Yeah.
No.
That's my simple
That's
answer
all right. I
too.
hear that all the time.
Next question. No. Look, a friend of me started from really humble beginnings. I was still in my corporate job, so I didn't.
So
I
it's the
didn't have
classic
a
side
strategy.
hustle, as they
yeah, it was
say.
the side hustle. I didn't have a strategy. I didn't have a plan. I came from an events and sales background, so I had that in place. And
Well,
I
you
was
certainly know how to do events if you got 350 people there at your first one.
Yeah, and then I went back on my merry way to Crown, and they take care of all that side of business plan and legal and all that kind of thing.
I presume they just say go and do this, and you do that nice
Yeah,
little
That's
thing
right.
within a
We
neat
don't know
little.
what we don't know, but we're passionate about what we
Yeah.
want to get out of it.
Yeah, and I still didn't think I was going to have it as an organisation. It was just a side hustle with a Facebook group.
Yep,
You
right.
know, it was literally what it was. And this is when I had my first child, that's Giselle, who's 4. But it wasn't until I had Florence. Florence has just turned 1.
Oh, I love Florence. That's a great name.
She's a wild one. She's all me, apparently. She's wild. But when I had Florence, my fuel and my passion was changing significantly inside of me. And I really, truly think that Florence has brought my organisation to where it is today.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, so when I was on maternity leave with Florence, so she's just gone 1, it was really in the last 12 months that this has blossomed, where I have put together a business plan. Not perfect, but there's
There's no such thing as perfect.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it
And
doesn't
don't they
exist.
always say that a business plan, you've got to revisit it every 6 months anyhow, because everything changes. This is just
It's a
trying to
made-up
put
plan.
some structure about,
Yeah.
this is what I'd like to do, but
That's right.
life might come along and change things, and so I'll, change it all the time.
Definitely.
Constantly pivoting, constantly, my pitch is changing, my audience is changing, my
Right.
direction is changing.
Ooh, I
So
wanna
in
hear
the
more about
last 12 months, yes, I have put together a strategy and a plan.
Well done.
But I'm learning every day. I mean, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this, and I need someone like you in my life.
Happy to help.
That can guide me,
Yeah.
because when you're in corporate for so long, you forget all
And
the
I come
things
from a
you
corporate background
need.
as well, so I understand. Yeah.
I mean, especially a big beast that I was in. Everything was kind
It's
of
so
hidden.
structured.
You did your job, and that was kind of that tunnel vision job that you did. And now I have to wear all the hats.
It's fun though.
All
I have
the
to say
hats.
it is fun. I do
Yeah.
enjoy that you get a little taste of everything. And I'm the opposite. I think I've only had a corporate job for a few years, and then just started going entrepreneur, but really went crazy being an entrepreneur once my children were born. I don't know. I wonder whether it just
Interesting.
hormonally or something does something, but I suddenly
Something
went
inside us.
really entrepreneurial
Yeah.
for about the 5 years after my child was born. Then I've started calming down and focusing a bit more, but I went in, and I was getting products and putting things on the market everywhere and starting this business and doing that.
Yeah.
So I do think that there's something in that, but
Well, it's funny too, because a lot of people in corporate who go into business want to get out of that structure. Yet when you're a business owner, you need structure more than
that's
anything.
right.
So it's
I know.
It's
But
really
you get to
quite
create
funny.
your own, which I
You
guess
do,
is
you
a
do.
point of difference that
Yeah.
makes it much more exciting.
And you get to be
Yeah.
creative as well with your business too, which is
Yeah.
really exciting.
yeah.
Well, you're the driver.
That's it.
All of a sudden we're the driver now.
And then I think we all as women find it challenging sometimes to put our head up above the sort of the rest of the crowd to say, I'm doing something different, look at me. And you try and work out ways to do it without sort of being too obvious about it. But I do think that that's something that you learn as a business owner, that in the end, if it's something that you're really passionate about and you want to make a difference, you're going to have to try and stand out from the crowd in order to affect the changes that you want to affect.
Well, I think too, one of the biggest things is giving value. So if you're about giving value and helping other people, then that will come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. And also, other people may come along. So, have either of you had a business partner? Have you got anyone that's helping you with this?
Well, for me personally, because I'm a not-for-profit organisation, I have an amazing group of volunteers behind me, which I'm slowly starting to get an advisory board now, because
Oh,
that's
well
where I
done.
feel like
Well
my
done.
gap is, because I don't know everything. I'm not
Yeah.
going to pretend that I know everything, because I don't. You know,
Now, for the women out there that don't know what an advisory board is, and I agree with you, it's a terrific idea. Can you explain what it is?
well, basically, we have our official board for Friend in Me, and then we have an advisory board. So these are leaders in their field.
Yeah.
You know, leaders in marketing, leaders in digital media, leaders in legal, and leaders in life. I mean, I've got a beautiful friend of mine who she's got her own graphic
All the experts
design.
in the different areas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
isn't
there
that
you
funny?
go.
But that is, so you're just offering an advisory board, Debbie, in some ways for people. That's
hadn't
not
actually
as
thought of
structured,
it that
but
way,
it's
but
actually
yeah,
a
it
really
is.
good idea.
Yeah.
But the idea that of an advisory board really is to have those experts to guide you. But this is not a full-time job for them.
No.
It's and that what I love, and I see it a lot with the guys, is that they go, who's the CEO of Telstra? Because I want to get into telecoms. I'm going to ask him to be on my advisory board. They go very high level.
Yes.
And what's interesting, and what I think a lot of people don't realise, is that when you are very successful, whether you're employed or you're an entrepreneur, you do want to give back. You do want to
Absolutely.
help people and shape them and help them avoid making those mistakes. And people, particularly I think women, don't necessarily feel comfortable reaching out to those people who are who are real top of their game, but those are the ones you want, and they are looking for people that they can help.
And you know
Definitely.
what? Have the confidence to reach out to them. If you're passionate about what you're doing and it's fueling that fire in your belly, just go to them, because the worst that any senior executive can say is no. But if you can tap into them, even if it's an hour of your time to tap
That's
into
right.
them,
Go for
That's
it.
right.
Definitely.
That is
So let's talk a little
powerful.
bit. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes, and then let's talk a little bit about how you might find someone that is right for you for an advisory board. And I also want to ask you, Louise, how you know if your child is on the right or the wrong path. Like, how do you know that you need to help?
Yeah.
So we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
This is Ticker.
From Ticker, you're watching She's the Boss. Here's Jules Brooke.
Welcome back to She's the Boss. I'm very excited to have Debbie Small from Empowerment Point and Louise Larkin with me. Now, before the break, we were talking about advisory boards with you, Louise, and I'm really interested to know how you set it up, how you chose people, and I don't know whether you want to mention any names, but the sorts of people that are helping you and what a difference it's making for you.
So I have a really, really big, loving relationship with social media. Honestly,
What platforms? I want to know what platforms.
I'm a big Facebook user.
Yeah, I'm a
My
sick
poor
on
husband,
Facebook.
he thinks I'm attached to my phone, but I said this is how I run everything.
We have no choice.
My mother keeps going, get off Facebook, you don't have to put everything, and I'm like, it's my business.
You have to.
And this is what I find. So I find a lot of people through social media,
Right.
through Instagram and Facebook. I've met a beautiful lady named Casey Rainbow. She says she's not an influencer, but she is.
Right.
She's got, 16, 17,000 followers
Good
on
heavens.
Instagram. She's a beautiful soul, very humble.
Yeah.
And we're creating some beautiful collaborations, and she's linked me in with some amazing people. So Casey Rainbow.
What an awesome name as well.
And that is her name,
It's
Casey
not.
Rainbow.
Rainbow
she's
is the name she was born
Yeah,
with.
and she's actually a fabric designer, so she's colourful.
how
She's
perfect is that?
Yeah, honestly, go check her out. So she's a beautiful advisor to me,
Right.
and she links me in with people, but just really humbly. Like, she doesn't go out there for any purpose for her. She just
Gorgeous.
she's been
Gorgeous.
amazing. Another beautiful soul, which I actually haven't met face to face, is Naomi Lambert.
Oh, I know Naomi. We've actually had her on the show earlier,
Yeah.
and she's coming on the show as soon as she comes over from Perth.
Yes,
'Cause she is
too
over
far.
there.
I
But
tell
tell
you,
me,
you live-
so how did you connect with her?
I think, look, I can't even remember. It would have just
Would have
been
been
a
social.
like or a post or
She's
something.
all over Instagram, I
She's
think.
all over it. So she has a Cool to Be Kind project. So when I see a name like
okay.
that, I was like, I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Let me look a little
That
bit
was
further.
exactly the way I was with her as well.
Send her a message. Hi, I really love what you're doing. Would love to hear more.
She would have heard exactly what you're doing and
Yep.
gone, oh my God, that is exactly right in her sweet spot.
Yes.
So, and she, I know, has had absolutely gazillions of publicity. I have never
She
seen
has.
anyone do as well. In fact, she posted something this week that was a podcast she did in the UK.
Yeah,
She's had Ariana Huffington repost her
That's fantastic.
story
She's
to her 4
amazing.
million followers. She is all over it.
Well, the more kids you
Also-
can help, the better.
Yeah, also really humble. And I
Yep.
actually was speaking to her over the phone yesterday. And it's funny because I think, sometimes in business, when you're not working in a big corporate or for somebody else, you can feel a little bit isolated.
Absolutely.
Funny that, because I promote
Yeah.
that in children. But you can, you're at home and you might have children, or, you don't have the office environment around you. So it's really nice to be able to pick up the phone sometimes. And when I speak to Naomi, like we spoke yesterday, I feel like I've known her for so long.
Yes.
And she makes me feel really good.
She's very empowering, I
Yeah,
think, and
she
very
is.
kind of lift you up and motivate you.
She really does.
She's an absolute gun because she's got all sorts of chronic illnesses
Oh,
all sorts of them, and her story is all over the internet if anyone wants to go and have a look.
Mm-hmm.
But she decided that she just wanted to start a movement where people would do acts of kindness for someone. So she's in the adult space really doing what Louise is doing for kids. And if you can get them in at 3 or 4, or whatever, I don't know, do you have a target age?
We do. Our target age is 8 to 12.
Okay. Yeah, great. That's
the reason we
key
say
years.
8 is because 8 is generally the age where kids start noticing that they're being excluded. When they start
Yes.
noticing that actually
That's
I may
very
not have
true.
a friend. So
And then it impacts them really badly as well.
that's when they
Yeah.
start noticing. So that's what the research is telling us. So although our events are raising awareness and all children are welcome, what the actual target is for the kids 8 to 12.
And I know it's a big global phenomenon because social media tells me, and we have all seen, I'm sure, on Facebook, those mums, particularly in America I see it, where their child has had a party and they've invited the whole class and not one kid has turned up, and the mother is bereft and says, please, we're going to run another party, everyone's welcome, and the child suddenly gets 100,000 cards and 50,000 people turning up at a party. It's so great, but it's so heartbreaking, the reason for doing it.
I think about this a lot though when I see these, because you see them quite often, my
do.
child didn't get invited. My worry there is they might have one day of all the attention and they get all these
And then it
cards.
just disappears again.
But what happens when they go back to school? What happens when they go back to school or kinder or whatever it is and they're still feeling that exclusion?
Yeah.
So in a way, you're kind of going up and down, which is, again, not going to be so good for their mental health journey. So
So it's
Yeah,
really
no,
about
it's hard.
I
educating
have a bit
parents
of
as
a,
well.
yeah, like it's all warm and fuzzy when you see it and, 100 children turned up and we all celebrated.
And
But
it
that little
absolutely
boy or girl has to go back to
to
that
school,
excluded life.
yeah.
So
Or does that kind of a thing where they've had a bit of fame and, a whole lot of people, they've had the best party that the whole town's
It's
talking
50-50,
about.
isn't it? It can go either way.
Maybe it will suddenly make them more popular. But I mean, it is heartbreaking as a mother to see your
absolutely.
child isolated like that and
Yeah.
think that they're being picked on or any of that kind of thing. And of course, by getting in early with what you're doing in terms of kindness, you're also really anti-bullying, which is
Yeah.
so, word of the month at the moment.
Yeah, well, we want to have that early intervention and teach the children that, this is, you can't exclude. How do we teach our kids to involve all children and just be kind?
So does that really come from a level up as well of educating parents and educating children, educating teachers as well?
Yeah, it's such a huge thing. It's hard to know where to start, but I think, and in fact, we can have a little business lesson from this, is that you can't be everything to everyone. So you've got to pick your niche or your little corner of the world, and I think go really hard on that.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, the whole message just gets diluted when it goes out across too many people, and it's something that we all need to know, particularly in PR land. We're all about, you can't go and talk to mums because what you're talking to as an older mum or a corporate mum or a mum who's staying at home or a mum who started her own business around the kitchen table are very different messages.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's great.
Absolutely.
Now, Deb, your turn. I happen to know, because I'm excited I'm going to be on it tonight, that you have also been running a Dining with Deb
I have,
TV
yes.
show. So tell us what that's all about and why you started in the first place.
Well, a while ago I decided that I wanted to interview experts on my show on different topics to really help businesses get to that next level of where they're going. But I didn't want to do the Zoom. So most people are using Zoom and it's 2 people. I wanted to do something a little different. So last year I decided to mix my loves of food, my loves of people.
I love this idea.
My loves of people and my love of
Drink,
bantering
you were gonna
business. No, bantering business. No, I've actually, on the first show, I decided that we were going to have a non-alcoholic show because alcohol will change the information
Yes,
that people get.
true.
On my first show, one of my friends was on the show, and after the show, we're drinking wine and celebrating. So, Deb, I'm so glad you didn't do alcohol during the show.
Dancing on the tables, getting up. Oh,
But you have got, so I mean,
But
I
it is
know
the
that
moment
you
we
get it,
stop. There's alcohol
but
afterwards.
you do get it sponsored by a chef,
I
and
do.
in this instance tonight we've got mocktails as well. I
We
believe.
do. We've got mocktails and then cocktails after the show. So
Yeah,
so
amazing.
what I decided to do is, my business is really about helping other businesses as well. So if I have a chef sponsor, and tonight I've got Chef Ashley Han, and
Yes.
I've also got Monsieur Cocktail, which is Maximilian Beale as well, coming on board. So if I'm helping these businesses, then I also advertise. I do pre-advertising, as you've noticed.
Yes.
I do advertising on the day, and I do post-advertising
can
as
use
well.
it as well.
So they get their name out there a
Yeah.
lot more, and then they get more work as well through it. Or some shows I had beforehand, both the chef and the cocktail person met, and now they're doing a joint venture together, which is
Great.
absolutely brilliant. So it helps get people's names out there, which helps their businesses. So that's why I have them sponsor as well, which is great.
Yeah, I love
so
it.
Business Dining with Deb, Business Treats and Takeaways, is about bringing experts to people in a fun way. So
Right.
it's something different. We get to enjoy amazing food. And I get to host a dinner party with a couple of people who just relax and have fun on the night.
Well, that's the other thing actually that we should point out. This is not 8 people around a table.
No,
because
it's
I've been to a
myself
few
and
of
2
those.
people.
Yes, so there's
Yeah.
it will be very clear, the messages
Yeah.
that come out. So when did you? How long have you been doing this for?
I started mid-November.
Oh, are you kidding me? I thought
No,
that this had been going for a year or
Brand
two.
new baby. So
Right.
it started mid-November, and at first I was doing it every 2 weeks, and then I realised I'd built like Ben-Hur in regards to
Trying to organise
in
it all.
regards to the marketing and the advertising, which I didn't even realise. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this every 2 weeks.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Again,
So
we keep learning lessons along the way.
So now it's once a month that
Yeah,
I do it.
perfect.
But I bring 2 experts in the same field because I find that they come from a bit of a different area, or same field, different perspective, I should
Perspectives,
say.
yeah.
And the banter is just fantastic, and the conversation is
Right.
fantastic, and we have a lot of fun with it.
I'm
So,
very much
and at the
looking
same
forward to
time, yeah.
And of course, on top of that, the beauty of doing things online, and I do a fair bit, in fact, lots of people do, is that we can get to people that can't necessarily come and meet you in person. You know, so if you've got somebody in a regional area or another state that would like your help, they get to see a little flavour of you and what you can do. So if that only started in November, when did Empowerment Point start?
Empowerment Point started probably about a year ago.
Oh my giddy aunt, I thought both of these were
Everything's
really,
new.
so I've got
No.
2 almost startup women here. So what was your before story? What were you doing before that?
I was a corporate and business trainer.
Right,
So
for many
I-
years, like you'd been doing that forever?
Forever.
Right.
So I started in telcos, and
Right.
then I started working for myself. But what I really did was bought myself a job without realising it, and I
What do
contracted.
you mean by that?
Well,
Yeah.
if I didn't work, I didn't make money.
Yeah.
So when you've got
Hello.
when you've got a business that you can build and you can get other people to do things for you, and you've got a virtual assistant, or you've got other people that you can delegate to, you can work on your business and build your business. But if I didn't train, I didn't earn money. So I bought myself a job doing that. But I learnt that quite a while after that.
Right.
But during that time though, I trained in telcos, I trained in retail, I trained in a whole lot of different places.
And was this sales teams or
It
marketing
was
teams?
sales teams, customer service teams,
all sorts.
support teams. It was all across the board, and I met the most amazing people. And the thing that I love the most is the ability to get the best out of people, which I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
So when I travelled quite a bit around Victoria, and I looked after some of South Australia and Tasmania as well.
Mm-hmm.
So through all of this, every time I'd go to a place, they'd treat me like family. It was really
Oh, gorgeous.
beautiful, and
Yeah.
I loved what I was doing. But then I needed a bit more, and I went through a bit of a hard time in my life as well.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine had a hosiery business and asked me to help her with that, so I did
Crazy.
for a while.
So that's a logical extension
Totally
from sales
crazy.
training to hosiery. What's
Well,
the hosiery business like?
I hated hosiery at the time, and I decided that
You're not wearing any.
No, not
today.
today. Not today. I used to love it, and then I hated it. But then I found when I tried different styles on and patterns, and I actually felt really good and empowered.
yeah.
And I thought, hang on, if I can feel this way, I can help other business women feel this way as well. Because for a man, you know, they wear a different tie, they feel different.
Oh, I know.
For
Different
us,
shirt. You know, the
that's
same
it.
suit for a year and for 4 different shirts.
That's it.
and
Easy.
For
2
us,
ties.
if we wear a different pattern tight or a different coloured tight, we feel different. So I started Sassy Legs and did that for a little while.
I saw
I
Sassy
think
Legs.
I have too. I think I've.
Cool. I remember being in Caulfield in Melbourne in a cafe or something, and I saw. I don't know whether I even spoke to you years ago, whether it was Sassy Legs, but I have this vague recollection about talking about, or maybe it was your partner in that business or your friend.
Oh no, Sassy Legs was mine.
Okay.
We stopped partnership. We're still good friends, but stopped partnership.
No, I know. No, I'm
And
getting
then did
myself
that.
mixed up because there was somebody who was doing hosiery for men as well.
That was me.
It was you.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, then there
It
you
was
go.
it was me.
We might have met before and we've forgotten. How funny would that be?
I had someone say to me who was in marketing, and be careful who you listen to as well, who said to me, we don't have men's hosiery in Australia, so you really need to do this and bring it in. So
Remind me of the market, because I remember at the time thinking, I don't know a lot of businessmen that I know that
Yeah,
wear hosiery, but it was for...
No, they don't really in Australia. That was the whole thing. In London and Europe, it's really big.
Is
And
it?
they
What do you mean
absolutely-
they put them on underneath there?
Any-
Well, it's
Email?
cold there too. So yeah,
So
they
it's a
put-
warmth thing.
It's both. It's a warmth thing.
Or a sexy thing.
And it's a sexy
Saturday
thing.
night
It's both. But,
Drag.
but here it wasn't as big, and this person was like adamant. They were in marketing, and I listened to them. I thought, yeah, I'll do something different for sure. And my biggest thing is go with your gut.
Yeah.
If your gut says it doesn't feel right, don't
Men
do it.
don't wear hosiery, but will I try and do it anyway?
There are, I do still have, like, because I've got an eBay store at the moment that I'm
Right.
just selling stuff from that I'm going to stop soon.
So this is Sassy Legs. If you are a bloke and you want
Yeah,
some
go onto
stockings, they're there.
sassylegs.com.au, but also I have the rest of my women's stuff. And the one thing with all the stock that I got is it's all extremely good stock.
Right.
So that was really
So
important
you
to
went
me.
top quality.
Top quality. A lot of it's from Europe as well. So Italy, Poland,
Gorgeous.
UK. So it's really, really important to.
And do the guys get patterns, or is it just the girls?
No, there is patterns as well. But it looks like you wouldn't notice. It looks like socks, men's socks.
Yeah,
is what it
okay.
looks like.
Right.
So it's
Oh,
quite.
so it's not your full.
Yeah, it is your full.
Oh, okay.
But it's warm.
So people keep warm. Yeah, and
with
a lot.
a little pouch
but I've-
instead of a gusset.
Well, I've actually had men who work
Sorry,
in cold.
I'm
No, I've actually had men that work in cold places,
Right.
Like warehouses and places like that.
Yeah,
actually
well, I mean,
purchase
it
them
makes
as well
enormous
because
sense.
because it's
Okay.
keeping them warm whilst they're
It's
working
just
as well.
really funny as well.
the
I've
most-
just got such a different image, not keeping warm. I've just got
I'm
guys with
thinking
their little shorts.
Frankenfurter.
That's all right. Well, one of the most amazing things is my journey of Sassy Legs. I met, and networking is really important as well in business, especially when
Yes.
you're on your own. You need to
Hugely.
find your tribe and be with other people and be able to
Absolutely.
banter business with other people. And I found through the journey of Sassy Legs, I met the most amazing people who I'm still friends with today.
Hence that you started Papa. Now we're going to
Yeah,
have to
that's
stop for a
it.
break, but when we come back, I want to hear a bit
Yeah,
more
for sure.
about how you met people along the way that you use now. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes on She's the Boss.
From Ticker, you're watching She's the Boss. Here's Jules Brooke.
Welcome back to She's the Boss. I'm Jules Brooke and I have the fabulous Debbie Small and Louise Larkin with me. We've been having such a laugh over some of the things that we've discovered. But one of the things that completely blew my mind 5 minutes ago is that Debbie started Sassy Legs, which was one of a business that she's kind of not really doing anymore, and not really why you were going to come on.
No.
But it's so fascinating. So stockings form as
It
in
is still there if
hosiery
anyone
for
wants
men and women.
anything.
But you said something really interesting along the way, which is how that business informed the business that you're doing now.
Totally.
So that you had met experts along the way and then became friends with them. And I interrupted you and we went to a break, so keep going
No,
from
that's
there.
okay. With Sassy Legs, I made a lot of mistakes. I didn't have someone that I actually could go to and speak to, or someone to say, you know, to start a business, you need to do A, B, C, D, E, and all of this stuff underneath. So I made a lot of mistakes along the way and spent a lot of time and money and stress
think
and
we
all of
all
that.
do.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the whole reason. So I turned around and thought, there's got to be a better way. And I was meeting amazing people along the way, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to build a business where I can actually bring on experts in every single area and
offer
help
them to
businesses.
other business owners.
Yeah, and help businesses get to that next level. But more importantly, you know, it's like a house. If you've got a strong structure, you can grow, you can stay as you are, or you can sell.
Yep.
If you don't have a strong structure and you try to grow, you're going to collapse. So
Yeah.
I want to be able
Nice
to make
analogy.
sure, that people actually have that strong structure in place so they can grow from strength to strength to strength.
And then if I was to take your analogy, and when the house starts subsiding in one area and it needs re-stumping, your experts can come in and fix whichever of the stumps is the one going down. Do you like that?
I love that. I love that. But through the program that I've got, I'm hoping that, all those stumps are going to be fixed quite quickly as well.
Yes.
Yeah, concreted,
And stay.
so they can actually grow and grow. Yeah,
Yeah, I love it. Put a second story on.
Because to me, the more they grow, the more they can employ people, the more families they can help. And it's this beautiful domino effect where we can help more and more people and take away the stress of even more people as well.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing that women in business care about probably more than when I chat with guys. It's not a lot of guys who are in business that often say, I just want to help other people. For them, it's about I want to get my expertise out, or I want to build my business or whatever. But I hear this time and time again with women. And it really is kind of, for all of us, I think, a strong motivator to be able to help other people not make the mistakes we are, not struggle in the same way that we have. Not that, a struggle is always going to be a part of a business, I think, but you don't have to have the really tough struggles if you've got somebody there to sort of guide you a little bit.
And that's why too I think networking is really important.
Super
because
important.
we get to banter with other business owners, we get to hear what their struggles, they help us with our struggles, and we're like this group that are really there for each other.
Yes.
Which is fantastic.
Yes, I thoroughly agree. Well, look, this is a perfect segue into some tips or things that you have learned along the way that might help some of the other women out there that might be either thinking about running their business or are already running a business, and things that we can do to help them. So let's go and to you, Louise. What have you, I know that it's only been a short journey so far, but from what I'm interested from you particularly is the leap from, because you said to me this is quite recent, full-time employment with a side hustle, to you've made that jump to turn the side hustle into your business. So how did you make that decision?
Yeah. So I guess it's not what I've learned; it's what I'm learning. I'm learning.
Beautifully put. Yeah, I should have said that too.
Yeah, and I'm learning every day. So like I touched on, I had quite a senior corporate role with a very good salary, and it was very comfortable. And I would come home and I'd get my paycheck and I'd do my job. And then all of a sudden...
And it afforded you the ability to do a bit of a side hustle.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people, using that current income to start building up the other one is a really good idea.
Yeah, that's right. And so, as I said previously, when I had Florence, there was something that just wasn't sitting right with me to go back after maternity leave.
Right.
I was getting a feeling inside that I didn't have that passion as the passion I had for Friend in Me and starting this organisation. So I made the decision one day. I remember the day so clearly. I rang my husband Cam and he said, "How are you?" And I burst into tears. I just burst into tears. Now, I'm not an overly emotional person, and Cameron stood back and said,
What's happened?
What's wrong?
Yeah.
I said, I don't know if I can go back to doing what I was doing, but I need to support the family, and I can't. And what if we got no money? And then I'm hyperventilating on the phone. And Cam just turned around and said, "Lou, go and do what you want to do and I will support you."
Oh.
And I said, "No, but
That's why I married you."
I just can't do that, and I hung up the phone. He goes, "Go and do what you need to do." And I hung up the phone and I did resign that day from this job. And
how did you feel after you resigned?
I have to be honest, I felt like a weight.
I say that to people, but it is just such a great moment where you go, that's it, I don't have to be answerable to you anymore and I'm going to go and make this work.
Yeah.
Then you've got to be answerable to yourself though.
Well, that's right. But I did feel like this weight had been lifted, and what I also found was that I opened up the universe to opportunity, which I thought was so powerful.
It's really important to do that.
It was such good advice.
Powerful, because all of a sudden I had nothing holding me back anymore.
No.
I had nothing holding me back.
And I'll tell you the other difference that it makes, and I had a boss say that to me many, many years ago. She said, opportunities don't happen till you let go. And I said, what do you mean? I never got it. And whenever anyone asks me now, what's your favourite quote? I always do it, because what it also means is that all those people that have been watching you and thinking, gee, I'd love to be involved, or I really like Louise, I'd love to do something with her, but no, she's got a job or she's already employed, will all come out of the woodwork going, now you're free, let's talk.
And honestly, that's what happened. And had got some really healthy collaborations happening with some really exciting things that are in the pipeline. But yeah, I just allowed myself, and people started coming to me. You know, I started getting more media opportunities. I started to really be able to get the name out. And that's when I thought to myself, I've made the right decision. Yes. Now, that hasn't come lightly. You know, just this week, I've been feeling flat. I've been feeling like, is this worth it? Can I wear every single hat as far as a business hat, and then a mum hat, and then a wife hat, and then a friend's hat? And you know, the cliche saying, the juggle is real. Well, it's absolutely real.
It is absolutely real.
You know, my youngest is 1. Yeah. She's a baby. You know, she's
But
still
you know what?
me.
She's watching her mum.
Yeah.
And your children will grow up being so proud of the fact that you've gone and forged your own path.
Yeah.
And for an amazing reason.
If it even ever did go back to being a side hustle, what have you lost? You haven't lost anything. You've gained so much. So. Yeah.
And I feel like I'm always going to have these qualifications
I've learned
along the way.
But let's talk a little bit more about that flat feeling, that moment as a business owner, and we'll talk about it with you as well, Deb. Let's all just have a chat about, and we all have it, and I have it all the time as well, where you go, oh my God, what am I doing? Have I made the right decision? Is this going to go anywhere? You know, why am I doing it? And then the next day, something will happen and you'll go, what was I even thinking yesterday? Of course I should be doing this. This is right. But it's like this.
Yeah. Well,
really.
You're part of that, Jules. You are part of that this week for me.
Oh, good.
Because earlier this week, Monday, Tuesday, I was extremely flat. I was going through all those questions that we go through all the time. Am I doing this for the right reasons? This is not giving me an income. You know, do I have the passion to keep it going? And I answer that in my head and I say, I certainly do. Then you might get someone online be a little bit negative towards you. And
that's right.
Oh, here we go again, should I be doing this? You know, and then I've got 3 major events coming up and that's taking up so much of your time, and then you keep thinking about it.
And also when you're doing events, I imagine they feel late as opposed to early. So you start going, is it even going to fill? Like, what am I going to do if it doesn't work?
Yeah, and then you've got that stress behind you. And then, you know, you're trying to update your business plan and then try and, you know, dot everything. And then you're just having a moment. And I rang Naomi, as I said, and then I got a call from you, and you were my beautiful voicemail on Tuesday afternoon. And I got the call to come on here, and then that's when I turned around the next morning and I woke up and I'm going, this is why I'm doing this, because there's actually people out there that believe in me.
Absolutely.
First and foremost, that believe in our organisation and that want to actually
and
get behind us.
The universe must have been watching, because I did have a guest booked who unfortunately, and we can relate to this as parents, got that hand, foot and mouth thing from primary school, because her husband's a paediatrician, and she said, I don't think I should come down from Sydney or Queensland. And I said, oh my goodness, who can I do? Actually, Louise Larkin would be great. So it was, you know,
and
divine providence or whatever.
Yeah. And honestly, the fuel came back.
Yeah, good.
You know, that fire is constantly sitting in my belly, but sometimes it's so hard. You know, we all have flat days. We're normal. We're humans.
That's right. And we're women. So let's be honest, we do get hormonal as well. So that can bring you down.
And let's be honest, that is this week. That's the hormonal week. You know, that's what's going on. And, you know, it's this up and down roller coaster. You know, I'm not switching off. You know, you're online at 10 o'clock at night and I wake up at 2 in the morning and I'm thinking, oh, there's an idea. Bing.
You're normal.
You know,
tick, tick, tick,
totally
tick,
normal.
Tick, tick, now I won't be able to go back to sleep.
And then, you know what, I'm going to walk away from here today and I'm going to be up
all
and about.
Fired up.
And I'm going to be fired up and I'm going to face another day. And I'm going to go pick up my girls and, you know.
And I hope that's doing that hopefully for our viewers as well. They get all fired up, a bit of fire in your belly to keep going. So, Deb, for you, have there been some things along the way that you think would be useful to share with other women who might be thinking about?
Definitely. One of the first things is that, you know, people think that business is like that, and it's not. It's like this.
It sure is.
And so that's why I actually did on our second show depression and anxiety in business from the perspective of business people having gone through it as well. because it's normal. Everything we go through is normal. Our ups and our downs are totally, totally normal.
And when you put yourself on the line, it's
Oh,
different.
yeah.
It's kind of more extreme, I think, because you are really putting yourself on the line.
So for me, I think it's really important to realise that you're normal going through all those things, and to be able to
Network and reach out as well.
Yeah, reach out and know your why you're actually doing what you're doing, and your big vision of why you're doing it, because that'll bring you back to, you know, there's a reason bigger than me that I'm doing this, and
Oh, that's
this is
lovely. What a love. That's great advice. Yeah.
And this is what gets me out of bed to make a positive difference for other people, and you're making positive difference for kids. So you know,
it is
your
bigger than you.
your big why is amazing, and is going to, the impact is to not just for that one child you make a difference for, but all those people that are around that child for the rest of their life. It makes an impact for them. Everything has a domino effect.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs. It's totally normal. There are times you don't want to get out of bed. There are times you jump out of bed.
That's
it's
right.
all
ring
normal.
a girlfriend. I always ring a girlfriend if I'm having one of those bad days. Whether they're involved in business or not, I'll just ring someone and go, I don't think I want to get out of bed today, not really feeling great. What am I even doing? And they go, no, they'll just fire you up. Women always fire each other up.
And you just hang up the phone. And like I said with Naomi, I hung up the phone, and even she messaged me, she said, I wish we lived closer.
No, she's got to move to Melbourne.
I said, but that kind of scares me, because A, the wine, B, like the ideas, because, you know, we both come up with all these ideas, and then they just keep rolling, and then I get overwhelmed. I think, oh my gosh, I've got so many ideas and no time to
Write them
execute
down.
which is what I do.
Write them
Trello,
down.
I'm on my Trello board.
And then you go, you know what, I don't have to execute them all now. Let me just go on
Focus
this.
on
One at
one
a
thing
time.
at a
And maybe,
time.
exactly. I'll start looking through my list and look at one thing every month that I
Yeah.
could implement or do
Exactly.
or whatever.
So,
Exactly.
So the other points too are have a schedule for yourself. Like, we love the freedom to do what we want, when we want, how we want, but we don't realise that we actually need a schedule for ourselves to keep us on track with what we're doing as well,
Like
which
get
is
up,
important.
get dressed, which is something that often as a work at home
PJs.
mum you don't
Working
get
in
around to,
PJs.
but it actually does put
shower.
that. The shower and the getting dressed are the
Yep.
two things that can really put you into work mode a bit.
It's the little things that make a difference too. Get a networking group or a few different networking groups, because, you know, when you're around people that are your own tribe as well, you end up learning from people, you end up bantering with people, you end up finding out that, oh my God, they go through what I go
right.
through. And
they can become lifelong friends. I mean, my business
definitely.
was set up nearly 15 years ago, and the networking groups I went to then, a handful of them are still really close friends, and we've done all that journey.
I love
Because you'll
that.
stick with them if they're like-minded.
And you do. These people don't end up being networking people. They end up being your friends that you can speak to or call. And that's the health check that I'm doing. It's those people who, well, most of them are those people that I've built that and nurtured that relationship with, which is really important as well. And also too, we tend to think we can do it all ourselves. And we can't, and it's exhausting as well. So, you know, at the moment I'm looking at getting a virtual assistant, and
Great idea.
and then down the track I'm going to get a couple of other people as well, because you need to be able to delegate to other people so you can work on your business.
That's right.
And in the beginning it's not easy to do, especially because, no, I know this way to do it, and I want to do it this way, and I want to do it that way.
Or nervous to hand it over to someone.
That's
It's your
right.
baby.
But whilst you're doing those things, and especially if you do things that are the same all the time, write them down or video what you do.
Yes.
So that way, when you get a virtual assistant or you get someone on board, you've already got step 1, step 2, step 3 written down, because you go through it all the time. Or you've got it on video so they can watch it and they can get an understanding for it as well. So you're starting to build systems in your business as well, and that's important.
We had Kerry Ann Nelson, who's do you know Kerry Ann?
I do.
Who runs a business called Operation Verve, which is all about systemizing, and she had a great thing where she says, literally what you're saying, write down the things that you do lots of, that are kind of mindless, you know, that anyone could do it, but you've got to do it and repeat it, and then try and automate that.
And she's definitely right.
And exactly. I mean, really, you know, when when you can get an automated email system if you've got an online business, or someone contacts you and you can send out an automatic, thanks so much, I can't get to you now, but I'll get back later. It actually puts a sense of relief for yourself. They have been contacted, but I don't have that pressure of having to do it right now.
Yeah. Which is something that we think has to be done instantly. And you know, this is the whole technology thing. If someone sends you an email and you can pick up your phone, you feel that you have to be replying straight away.
That's right.
And we need to go a little bit more gently on that and know that, you know, we don't have to instantly reply or instantly
I don't
get
have
back.
email on my phone.
Ah, clever.
No, I won't. I'll check
Well,
it when I get.
There's a good tip.
I'll
I don't know
check-
how
Oh,
it
no.
survived,
I'll
but
check
it's
it
a
when
good
I
tip.
get to the
It's fine
office.
either.
I think if it's really important that someone get in touch with me, you know, they can message me, they can call me. I've got Facebook
There
as well.
are
I've got
so
LinkedIn as
many
well.
ways
So, but
wow.
but
people can contact us
someone
this
said
way.
to me, "You need to have email on your phone." So I put email on my phone, and all I heard was beep 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 beep
Well, I don't have
continuously.
notifications.
Oh yeah, no, I don't have any
notifications.
notifications,
Oh, I thought
and
I can't do
and
that.
I now do it. I think it's push where it actually only downloads when I go into my email.
That's like
so I
me.
don't have it that it's always coming through.
I'm the same.
But great advice, girls. Now you won't believe this, but the show's over.
Oh.
It's time for us to wind it up.
Yeah.
Can both of you, starting with you, Louise, how can people find Friend in Me?
Yeah, so www.friendinme.org.au
Yes.
is our
And-
website.
and
then
Facebook?
Facebook is just Friend in Me. So
Okay,
that will come
great.
up. Instagram is Friend in Me. We have our major event coming up in March for anyone in Melbourne. at
Okay,
the Melbourne
great. Whereabouts do
Showground.
you do it? At the showgrounds?
At the showgrounds.
And sorry, just very quickly,
Very
is
quickly,
that bring along your children, or is it just for the
It's a
mums,
family.
or-
No, it's a family day.
Fantastic.
It's a big family day.
Reach out,
which-
make friends with your kids,
Make
and
friends,
love it.
dance, laugh, have experiences. You know, just like we make friends along the way, they might make a friend
Oh,
in me.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Now, Deb, how can anyone get hold of you?
Yeah, my website
The
Empowerment Point is just being finished at the moment, so it will be through empowermentpoint.com.
.com,
but at the moment they can get through to me either Debbie Small on LinkedIn,
Yep.
or Debbie Small Empowerment Point on Facebook. They can private message me as well. And I just want to add just one more quick thing is that when you're in business, you can fear moving forward of the things that you need to do. So the best thing is to do it, because you are going to fail and that's okay. But the trick is to fail fast and get up and try again.
Yes.
And the other
Dust
thing
yourself
is,
off.
dust yourself off. And the other thing is to get a mentor, to get somebody that you can talk
Makes
to
a
and that
huge
can help you in
difference.
different ways as well. Yeah.
Fantastic advice, really fantastic advice. So it's just been a delight having you both
Thank
on the
you.
show.
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Jules.
I hope you found it useful. This is She's the Boss. I'm Jules Brooke, and I'll see you same bat time, same bat channel next week.
This is Ticker, your new source for news.